And we're going to start off with an interesting story about CXL, because if you were kind of wondering to see what might happen in the real world before you were ready to dive in with both feet, the wait is over. Samsung revealed that they've successfully verified CXL memory in a user environment working with Red Hat. The memory has been optimized to run on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9.3, was verified in KVM and Podman environments in the customer. The goal is for customers to be able to adopt CXL from Samsung without the need to adjust any additional hardware in their deployments. Support for CXL memory will come from the Samsung Memory Research Center, which covers a wide range of devices, not just RAM. So, Stephen, you're a huge proponent of CXL, and you've been trying to get people really excited about it. How important is it that the memory has been validated in real production?
Yeah, this is a good story, a huge story. As you know, if you've listened to our Utilizing Tech podcast, I'm really keen on basically the not just cool tech, but when tech gets real, when it's useful, when it's practical, when you can just deploy it and use it and get the benefits of it, and you don't have to mess around with it. Because if there's one thing I learned as a systems administrator in enterprise production environments, you don't want to mess around with stuff. You only use things that are supported by everyone involved, things that just friggin' work. And that's what Samsung's doing here. So they, pat on the back to Samsung. They worked really hard to come up with a CXL memory expansion module, as have many other companies, by the way. But Samsung took the next step and worked with Red Hat to certify it. They showed that it works. They showed that it plugs in. Everything is compatible. Everything is interoperable. And I might add a story that we're going to cover later in the rundown. Intel's latest Xeon server processors also support CXL memory expansion out of the box. That's an official supported feature. It wasn't in the 4th generation, but it is in the 5th generation. So what this means is that whether you're using AMD or Intel, you can buy a Samsung memory expansion module, and you can expect that it's going to work, at least in a Red Hat environment, if you're using KVM, Podman, et cetera, which are kind of the popular things that are being used out there in cloud deployments. And of course, that's, again, what this stuff is all about. So let me give you a brief refresher on why this is important. CXL is cool, sure, because you're moving stuff away from the CPU, you're connecting them over PCI Express, potentially even outside the box. But what's actually more practical cool is the fact that you can use memory expanders to affordably match memory workloads to needs. So as you know, most servers have a certain number of memory channels, and best practices call for populating all of those channels so you can get the maximum memory bandwidth. The problem is memory only comes in certain sizes, binary sizes. And so the idea is this trend called non-binary memory, which sounds a little on point, newsworthy outside the tech industry. But in the tech industry, what it means is basically using a CXL module to expand memory in a more granular fashion so that you can have exactly the right amount of memory for this server, instead of overbuying, which is what we've always had to do, because underbuying memory is a great way to make your server garbage. Overbuying is basically what we've always had to do. But the problem is overbuying often means literally doubling server cost, because memory is so expensive, especially when you step up to the next size. So what this means is that we can match memory sizes, which optimizes costs. And now that it's supported, we can expect that that's actually going to work. So kudos Samsung, kudos Red Hat, and big kudos to the CXL consortium for pushing this forward.